Good day, viewers of Embassy Direct, especially to the foreign diplomatic and expatriate communities and the members of our network. We are here today delivering, as always, the good news. In this segment, we engage with different role players of our society who will share their life experiences and how, through their actions, they are making a difference within their community. Our guest today is Mrs. Tanya Roux. Mrs. Roux is involved in an organization called Gen XX, one standing on the gap and fighting the war on dignified experiences for women and nurturing a sense of worthiness amongst women and youth. How are you, Mrs. Roux?
I'm very well, thank you, Rodrigo. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to this interview with you.
Great, great. So let's start.
Amazing.
Tanya, kindly describe your organization and the role you play within it.
All right, so Gen X is short for Generation Female, and our organization, like you quite rightly said in the intro, is about standing in the gap for women. It's about educating women on dignified experiences. We are very passionate about the women, especially of South Africa, deeply, deeply passionate. And we want to see the narrative around dignity issues change for them. You know, there's a firm belief that dignity is something that I have to fight for. And our strategy and our aim and our goal is to change the narrative on that to dignity is already something that is rightfully mine. And how do I apply my dignity in a set of life circumstances? My role in the organization is I'm the founder and CEO of the organization. I founded Gen X in 2019. And yeah, I mean, we founded Gen X on a product base at first, and our strategy and our vision just expanded from there.
Great. South Africa has had a challenging 18 months. How is your organization making a positive difference? Please mention how others can get involved and support your efforts.
Yes, I think if the past 18 months has taught us anything, it is that as a South African people, we are resilient, we are resourceful. And I think now more than ever, we need to rally around concepts of integrity and dignity. I think that you know, the decisions that we make and that we've seen have been made for our citizens and each of us in our individual spaces. If we cannot make the right decisions, even if it's hard, even if it's tough, we are not creating a space where people can react to us in a dignified way. And our aim is to go and yet again, to go and get in front of especially underprivileged communities and especially the youth of our country, the young girls of this country. And again, to teach them about what a dignified experience is, what is a dignified friendship, what is a dignified relationship. Because if I know what dignity looks like and feels like, and I can make it my own, it means that I can act in a dignified way. And I think if the last 18 months has taught us anything, is that I think people have struggled to act with integrity, and I think people have struggled to act with dignity because they have been faced with an unnatural situation. And how organizations can get involved with us, they can get involved with us via email at info@gen-xx.co.za, and they can also find on our website www.gen-xx.co.za.
Tell us, charity or empowerment? Which one is your NGO's drive and why?
Absolutely empowerment. And the reason for that is that women, I think, are not, there's nothing that screams charity about women. Women are strong. We are resilient by nature. We are the nurturers of society. We have built into our DNA a sense of survival. So our focus is empowering the women. It is about saying that you are worthy of dignity. You are worthy of dignified experiences. Your worth is not defined by men or by society, but about how you see yourself, how you experience yourself. And, you know, we often find, and I'm just going to jump ahead here and go, we often find that 49%, let me put it this way, 49% of South African females live under the upper poverty line. And when they have to choose between a dignified experience for themselves and a dignified experience for their family, they will always mostly choose their family. Why? Because it is ingrained in us to be the nurturers of society. It is ingrained in us that we should be the givers. But somewhere along the line, the narrative that we are creating is that we as women are not also worthy of dignity. And we want to change that narrative. We want to be able to say is you can have a dignified experience and create it for your family and your friends. You don't have to choose. So it's definitely empowerment.
When you say, you refer at that role of woman on caring for family first, it brings me immediately the image of the lioness, the female lion that protects her family and will give them food and will protect those cubs until the end. So yeah,
Absolutely.
interesting.
Absolutely.
Do you know some of the key challenges your organization faces?
So some of our key challenges is the education around it. So getting in front of the right communities and educating certain demographic groups from a cultural aspect is difficult to reach sometimes because of the cultural aspect associated to a woman's role in society. So that is definitely a challenge for us, but we are making headway one step at a time. And then, of course, funding. You know, we need funding to be able to run our programs. We need funding to be able to engage with other organizations to also help us to achieve the vision that we have to get in front of women in communities, but then also girls in school. You know, we find that, again, you know, it's the youth. The youth is a critical focus for us, the females in general, but everybody, because they are the future citizens of this country. They are the future leaders of this country. And if we cannot identify, or if we cannot create a narrative with the youth of our country of what integrity is and what dignity is, because it is my firm belief that integrity breeds dignity. When we are able to act with integrity, we give other people permission to react with dignity. And if our youth does not understand this concept, if our future female leaders do not understand this concept, we're hopeless. There's nothing for us to look forward to. So our biggest challenge is the educational piece from a cultural perspective, changing the narrative around the dignity of women.
What do you believe are South Africa's main challenges? And could you touch on some of the solutions you would like to see implemented?
I think some of our main challenges in South Africa is there's definitely a political aspect. I think politically we have a governing party that is falling apart, and we're not seeing the leadership that we need. We're not getting the sense of encouragement that we need, that everything is going to be okay. Every little bit of hope that you see in the citizens of South Africa now is because they've created it. It's not because the governing party has given them any reason for it. So I think some of our critical challenges is our leadership in our governing parties. It is the infighting in the governing party. And I think it's the empty promises. You know, again, integrity breeds dignity. If from a leadership perspective, a party promises to do certain things and they don't, they are the problem. They are creating havoc. They are in essence saying that we will not act with integrity in doing the right thing at the right time for the right reasons for everybody involved. And therefore they are actually saying to us as citizens, or to the majority of citizens, that it's okay to run rogue. It's okay to, you know, demolish things and burn things and kill people. And it's and that is a big thing for us. I think it's the leadership of this country. We face a lot of challenges, and one thing that I've said and I firmly believe in is a country needs to be operated as a business. So if you look at any business, when you bring in a new employee, they go on a probation period, right? Because you're testing to see if this employee can work for you. Do they meet your cultural, are they a cultural fit? Do they meet your expectations in terms of output? And I firmly believe, and it might sound ridiculous to some people, but I believe that when parties come into power, when they are voted into power, that there should be at least a 12-month probation period where they are measured by the citizens of this country on how they are faring and employing the policies they have promised to employ during, you know, their campaigning period. And then there should be penalties. There should definitely be penalties for not delivering on the things that you have delivered or have promised to deliver on.
People without hope don't vote. Give people hope and they're more likely to vote. How do we give people vote?
So first of all, hope is a feeling, right? Hope is not going to achieve, a feeling doesn't achieve things. A feeling doesn't make things happen. Action makes things happen. So hope is inspired because someone somewhere did something to inspire that hope. And it is each and every one of our responsibility to then say, I'm feeling hopeful because I've seen this group of people do something and it gives me a sense of hope. How can I duplicate that in my environment, in my community, to also inspire hope in the next person? So I think people think, hope, hope, hope. That's amazing. It's a great feeling to feel. But what are you doing with it? Because hope is a feeling, it's not a doing. And unless we don't start doing something, unless we don't start pulling together as communities, as citizens of a diverse country, but an absolutely beautiful country with so much potential, we will continue to just sit and hope. But hope is not going to do anything for us. It is our actions that need to come from that hope that is going to drive results.
Yourself, do you have hope for South Africa's future? And if so, what makes you believe in this future? How can we translate this hope into every corner of the country?
I do have hope for this country. I have hope for this country from a heritage perspective, because this is where I was born and I choose to stay here. I don't want to live anywhere else. So I don't have a choice. I have hope for this country on the one hand. And on the other hand, you look at a situation that has just happened in KwaZulu-Natal, and you see communities of all races, all walks of life pulling together when their government has failed them. The citizens have pulled together and they have created the narrative around hope. The brave people of KZN that have, stood up and stood together, regardless of race, regardless of gender, regardless of income, regardless of anything, have said enough. And that gives me hope. That action gives me hope, and it gives me the ability to now go and say, how do I take that? And how do I apply that in my life so that I also give hope to others? And so that we can create this movement of integrity and dignity and hope. I love this country, and I think a lot of people feel this way. But it's going to take each and every one of us to get off our behinds and get up and say, what can I do in my environment to make a difference? And what can I do today? Not tomorrow, not next week. What can I do today and do diligently every day? And that's what it's going to take. There is no magic potion or a wand or anything like that, but it is about getting up, getting behind something, voting for the party that you believe in, because not voting is just as good as voting for the party you don't believe in, and getting behind those policies and doing what you can in your environment.
Tanya, we would love to feature your positive initiative and thoughts on our website, and trust you'd be happy for us to spread the word.
Absolutely, please do.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for all this input today. We wish you the best in your initiative, Gen XX, and hopefully through an organization like yours, woman is given the place in society that she truly deserves.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and your interest in our organization. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you, Rodrigo.
Okay, good day.